Warning, you're about to see some things in Minecraft you won't be able to unsee. Kind of like how when you first see a map of a cat playing with a bull, you won't be able to see the world in the same way, or the KFC logo actually gives Colonel Sanders a tiny little body, or even just the letter A being a giant sharpened pencil. The world is filled with things that once you spot them, you'll never be able to unspot them, and Minecraft is no exception. Everyone knows the classic example of a bend in the rails looking exactly like an iron pickaxe. Isn't that suspicious? But you might not know that minecarts themselves, the thing that go on these rails, actually float directly above them. The rails, or the wheels on the minecarts, don't make any contact with the ground. They're just magic floating machines, which is pretty wild when you look at it from a side angle, right? Like, how does this humanly work? What is the logic here? I don't understand. All I do understand is that there are other things in Minecraft like this, like the textures on stairs all being exactly the same. They don't rotate with the texture when you rotate the block. That might be tricky to understand when looking at stone or cobblestone, but look at the wood block and you'll understand what I mean perfectly. As you can see, the wood is going with a slight sideways grain right here, so it makes kind of like a bricky effect on there, but when you go on the sideways stairs, the wood is also going in the same direction. This means that sideways stairs are not just stairs but sideways, but it's an entirely different texture depending on which way you rotate it, which is really kind of nuts when you think about it. But what's even more nuts is the fact that this applies to every single stair that exists in Minecraft. Even the mossy cobblestone, the things you're seeing down here at the bottom are perfectly replicated down here at the bottom on a different side of the same texture. It creates all sorts of weird things that means you can never truly rotate something in Minecraft and you'll never see it the same way, just like how you'll never see logs the same way after you realize that every single type besides jungle, has the same texture. I should say, besides birch and mangrove and soon to be all the other, but the major types of wood all have the exact same texture, just colored slightly differently. Oak, spruce, dark oak, acacia, they're all exactly the same texture, besides jungle, of course, which is the same texture, but rotated 90 degrees. This means that because of how wood blocks work in Minecraft, if you are to break these blocks and then place them sideways, which you can do just like this, then it will have exactly the same texture as the other four types of wood. Minecraft wood is all very lazy and all has the same texture, even down to the little rings on the inside, or the rings on the side if you place it like this. Very strange indeed. Speaking of very strange indeed, birch logs are the big exception to this, but if you look at two birch logs side by side, it looks like a disappointed cat. Tell me you don't see the disappointed cat, and I'll tell you that I'm disappointed in you, like this cat is, by the way. It's, again, I can never unsee it. That it takes a few seconds for your brain to get it at first, but then you can never go back to the way it was before. Birchwood will always be the disappointed cat block, just like how four-leaf clovers exist in Minecraft. I think it's one of these very strange accidental artifacts of the way bedrock rotates textures. It's not just grass that it rotates, by the way. It's all sorts of different blocks. But speaking of different blocks, the campfire is a really interesting example of this, because the campfire, when it's lit, is a pretty wholesome block. Look at me sitting on my log enjoying my campfire. Now let's put out the campfire and then take a second to look at the texture here. What do you see? Is that an ocelot? Are they threatening me with this? Is this campfire making direct threats at me? It looks like it is, right? That is a cat's face over here as well. You know, honestly, how many of these are cat's faces, you might be saying? I mean, this is a disappointed cat face. This is a dead cat face. And this is a cat face in regular Minecraft. How many eyes does it have? This is still one of my favorite things. I showed this off in a video many years ago, and I can still never get over it. Look at this cat's eye. You know, we imagine if you're still having issues seeing it, we'll use fun digital graphics to draw where the center eye would be. Wow, cats are actually cyclopses, just with a little bit of a thing in between. Very, very strange, very demonic. And also, I want to access the chest, but I can't because of the darn cyclops cat that's blocking me, which means I should probably just avoid that. Speaking of things I should just avoid, I'm going to get on this trapdoor right here and look at the llama, because the llama has a cute face, you might say, until you get up close and you look at the miniature face on the nose of the llama. So yeah, this is a llama's face, but this is the sub-face on top of it. It's a very derpy face, but llama noses have souls and do entirely exist on their own too. Look at it from the side. It looks like a very... It's ridiculous, but it is a thing. Just like how it's ridiculous that the texture on the top of bricks does not line up with others. It's kind of, it's a little bit frustrating for some people, but look at this. It's so close to lining up, and then it just kind of doesn't, and it's so bothering. The moment you spot it, you'll realize that you can never go, like why does it even have to be this way? We could have made the bricks actually work, but we didn't, and it's eternal pain ever since then. The side brick texture perfectly tiles into other side brick textures, but the top brick texture, I mean, it's just pain. The opposite of pain though, I guess if you exercised a bunch, you could get yourself a six-pack. Do you see this as a six-pack yet? I didn't see it at first, but the moment you see like a... you get it? Like, it's a very ripped zombie. I think this one is just entirely ridiculous, but also I can't unsee it now. Every time I see the purple pillar, I'm gonna see a six-pack. Wow, this purple block sure is ripped. This zombie, I guess, sure is ripped. By the way, the diamond door looks like a face. Even right now you can see it, right? Because they didn't change the underlying thing. If you can't see it there yet, how about give this a look? Do you see it now? Honestly, it's harder for me to see up there. So, yeah, if you look at the block, you can see a little bit of a face there, and I think it's very fun. Yeah, I think it's very, very strange. Just like how it's strange that the librarian has a book on his head. That's right, you might think it's a cap, but it's actually very clearly a book. Look at it. It's got such clear book angles on there. And so, yeah, the librarian is actually holding a book on his head to show his superior knowledge of libraries. I don't know how that works, dude. Just like how I don't know why the lily pad is Pac-Man. I mean, again, once you see the lily pad as Pac-Man, it never goes back. You just have a bunch of Pac-Man blocks lying around. And, yeah, even in your inventory, it's just sideways Pac-Man. Rotate the screen 90 degrees. Wow, look at that. There's Pac-Man in my hotbar. And, also here's a fun one, by the way. You'll always, wherever you place a lily pad, it will always be rotated in a particular direction. You can't rotate the lily pad. So it'll always be facing this way, no matter which direction you're coming from. And then that block over there is also always going to be the same. It's a very strange Minecraft quirk, but when it comes to weird generation quirks, there's one that truly destroys this beyond anything else. I can't wait to show you it. It took hours of work, but there's something much more important, and that is that this painting looks like a man falling over. Do you see it? If you don't see it, you might find it interesting that turtle eggs and diamonds have the same outline to them. The diamond is just a turtle egg without all the detail, or maybe the turtle egg is actually a diamond in disguise. Although the much worse version of this has to be the torch. I didn't know this until this video. During the research of this video, I noticed the torch and the switch it's the same item. Look at these two things side by side. This is a torch, this is a switch. They're identical textures. It's an identical model, even if you put them on the side of something here. It's like, did we really not have any, whatever. Also, why is it that the model in the inventory looks the same, but then when you place them down, you get this extra bit? Why don't we have that in the leather texture so we can have something more unique than this? It's just very strange in my opinion, and yeah, if you didn't know it, now you do. I'm having doubts now. Is it the same? Okay, there we go. It is the same. Speaking of things that are the same, is that a pigeon looking over the wall? Wait, white glazed. I guess I kind of get it. I see like a rat looking over this wall, honestly. Oh no, I see. Okay, no, I see the bird now. There's a cute little bird looking over the wall with with two little suns in the side. I like white glazed terracotta. I didn't realize. But yeah, I teased you a little bit earlier. What is the weirdest generation quirk? The little bonus at the end here. Well, let's go and let's show you. So, in Minecraft... Let's go and let's show you. Well, in Minecraft... you might think that when you bone meal the ground, you'll get random decorations. And this is mostly true, but when you plant flowers, or when flowers are spawned by the game itself, they're placed in a very algorithmically determined creation. Because what you could do is you could theoretically bone meal an entire, like several hundred by several hundred block stretch, and you wouldn't get a different pattern every time, you'd get the exact same pattern. In fact, if you want to see that pattern, you knew where we were going, it would look like this. This is like staring into the abyss or something. There is a beautiful pattern that Minecraft has predetermined that flowers will spawn in, and they will always spawn in exactly that way. This means that if we go down there and we remove like this plant, and then we grow them back, and then we obviously make sure that, there we go, look at that. They grow back exactly the same way. There's command blocks that remove any non-flower blocks in case you're curious. But still, we remove a bunch of these flowers right here. It'll go to exactly the same way until this is one of the white tulips. like before, this is one of the sunflower. It's mind-boggling that the worlds that you place by bone milling the ground is predetermined. It's also really, really attractive to look at. There's something about this design that is just inherently appealing to me. Like, I do think that if it was random, it would look a lot uglier, but I also think it's weird that something you never realized was true, and you can never go back to thinking is true, is that Minecraft is not truly random when it comes to what you'll grow. Indeed, there is a pattern with all sorts of weird circles in it. Even if you tried to argue this was random, you wouldn't believe it, right? Because look at this. It's so strange. Also, why are there random yellow flowers inside the red? That's got to be a bug, right? Like, look at the white, look at the blue rings, the purple rings, and then there's just 3 yellow flowers there. That's very strange. I'm going to go check out on that, actually. Let's confirm. Does this always come back as yellow? That feels incorrect, right? Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so I guess that was probably a mistake in the showcasing of this. But still, very, very strange, right? This is something you'll never unsee, just like the cat cyclops, just like the lever and the torch, and just like the fact that there is a subscribe button on this video, and YouTubers are always telling you to press it, but the reason we're telling you to press it is because of something you can't unsee, which is the fact that 99% of house fires are greater than 99% of house buyers happen to be people who aren't subscribed to the IBX Toycat YouTube channel. Personally, I know 2 people in my life who weren't subscribed to me at the time, who actually had a house fire. It was because of laptop chargers being plugged in too much. For real, just if you have a laptop, don't leave it plugged in all the time. Just unplug it and turn it off when you're not using it. You might save a life. And if you can't do that, if you want to leave your laptop plugged in, then make sure you subscribe to IBX Toycat. That's probably like having fire insurance, I can definitely not legally say. And like that, I hope you'll enjoy this video, because I'll see you next time. Goodbye.